Hi, ladies. This is Krista, and welcome to the Femininity Takeoff. Ladies, hardship and difficulty does not define you. How you respond to it does. A lot of times I hear people say femininity means that you are not a survivor mode, and that could not be furthest from the truth things. Do you suddenly just grow a pair of male parts just because you are in survivor mode, just because you're going through life's hardships? No, if that was the case, no woman on earth will be feminine because life has hardships. It's completely normal. Life has difficulties, and being in survival mode simply just means that you are dealing with the difficulties of life. Being human is to be in survival mode. Just because you find yourself in a difficult situation, because you're human and this is what humans go through, does not mean that you've suddenly grown a pair of male organs or that you are masculine. That could not be further from the truth. Okay, ladies, life has grief, grievances, difficulties that we all go and grow through overall, men and women. But specifically, as a feminine woman, you just have to be a little bit more intentional and decisive on how you are going to deal with life difficulties, how you are going to tackle them, and who you are going to be as you are dealing with those difficulties, ladies. Difficulties are going to exist. You might find yourself in survivor mode. That is just life. Femininity deals with everything that is thrown at her, and femininity also has to do with characteristics, okay? Characteristics like your personality traits, your emotional features, your charm, your beauty, who you are, and how you deal with things in your life. That is what femininity means. Femininity does not simply mean that you've beautified yourself and you're just in dollar land in the world, nothing bad is happening. That's not true. Every month when you go through your menstrual cycle, those of you who get menstrual cycles, every month when you go through it, your body literally puts you in survivor mode. Have you noticed that sometimes when you are during that time of the month, you are not very hungry? You might be hungry leading up to it, but during the actual cramping, you're not hungry. Do you know why? It's because your body can be in so much pain that your mind is shutting off your need for hunger, your need for food, because it thinks that you are in survival mode. So do you suddenly become less feminine when it's that time of the month? No, that is actually the time when you're the most feminine and you have physical and biological proof that you are a feminine being. So don't let the world, ladies, trick you into living this make-believe fairy tale la la land where, you're shopping every day or whatever you see on TikTok or the social medias. It does not mean that is not what femininity is. Yes, there's goodness in life, but life also has its hurdles. You're going to go through grief. You're going to go through breakups. You're going to go through friendship breakups. You're going to go through divorce. You're going to go through weddings, okay? You're going to go through things that are beautiful in life and things that are not so beautiful in life. Just because you're going through something that is of adversity does not mean that you suddenly lose your femininity because you're not in this la la land headspace. Okay? And ladies, to be completely honest with you, the times where I found myself to be in survivor mode or the time where my femininity came through the most for me, okay? Because I was in such a fragile and vulnerable state, I was able to be so feminine and see things from a different perspective and point of view and grow and thrive through my difficulties, adversaries, or survival modes, if you would call it that. My femininity literally had to rescue me. I could not have been rescued out of those certain difficulties in my life had I not been feminine going through that survival mode. And there are times where my femininity has placed me in rooms that I could never have found myself in otherwise. My femininity has placed me in front of people that I could have never been placed in front of in my time of weakness, in my time of need. And because I was so feminine, because I was rooted in my gentleness, my femininity, people were ready to assist me, help me, and pull me up because of my feminine essence in survival mode. So ladies, you actually will shock yourself if you sit and take time to rest in your femininity, especially when you are in survival mode, because that is the true time and moment where it will truly serve you, where your femininity will truly pull you through certain things. So when you are in survivor mode, you are actually not being masculine. You are actually the most vulnerable. And part of being feminine is to be vulnerable. Okay, ladies? So again, just because life is cooking your tush does not mean that you've suddenly grown a pair of balls and you are no longer feminine. That is not how it works. Excuse the language, but this is the truth. So with that being said, let's actually go back for a second. Let's go back to the root word of femininity. Okay. Femininity's root word comes from the Latin word femina, which means of woman. Okay. So anything that is of woman is gentle. It is vulnerable. It can also be many things. And that is actually a really vague word, but there's a reason why I'm telling you this is because femininity encompasses so much. It encompasses vulnerability. It encompasses nurturing, okay? Even breastfeeding. It encompasses that being so dynamic. It encompasses being strong. It encompasses being just many, many things that many different women all around the world are. And the very vagueness of that word femina, of women, shows how dynamic femininity is. Okay? So you're not rigid because you are in survival mode. As a matter of fact, you're actually dynamic. So ladies, when you are going through survival mode or something that is difficult, you don't say, oh no, I am struggling now or I'm in survival mode, therefore I am not feminine. On the contrary, you think, I am feminine and I am faced with this adversity. How am I going to use my feminine strength to overpass it, to overcome it? Ladies, you know, I always say it's so important to ask yourself questions and specifically ask yourself questions that have answers and that have solutions. Okay. So when you are finding yourself in survival mode and you're feeling like you are no longer feminine, I need you to ask yourself, I have always been feminine. I am feminine, whether I am in heaven or in hell. Now, how will I proceed? Okay? So, ladies, will not be tricked out of who you are because someone did not appropriately define you to you. Only you can define you to you in a way that does not cheat you, in a way that does not hurt or break you. Okay? You have that type of full sovereignty. Please excuse me. But ladies, if anything, when you are in survivor mode, that may actually be when you are the most feminine. Why? Because you are the most fragile. Femininity is fragile. Femininity encompasses fragility. Okay, so when you are fragile, and I don't mean weak, but when you are fragile, that is when you are the most feminine. So if you are in survivor mode, you are fragile. So you do not lose that femininity. Do you see where I'm getting here with this, ladies? And that fragility is not weakness. It is actually honesty. It is softness meeting strength. Okay? Because you're gonna need that strength. You're gonna need that intellect. You're gonna need that planning to actually get yourself thrive and grow yourself out of your survivor mode. But you need to be able to be honest with yourself and you need to be able to be honest to yourself about your vulnerability. And that is one of the most feminine things that you can do. Do you think men are going around saying, oh my God, actually no, I mean masculine men. Do you think masculine men are actually going around saying, oh my God, I'm going through adversity. Let me be vulnerable. No, that is a true feminine trait to be vulnerable, to be fragile, in a way sometimes even to be helpless because we have been throughout society, throughout the generations, ladies. So it is nothing new to femininity to be fragile, to go, to need, to survive, ladies. And so now let's get to the point of this video. And before I dive even deeper, I just want to say, ladies, I am not a therapist, a financial advisor, or any licensed professional, and I'm not giving you advice as such. And anything that I'm about to say is not professional advice. It is actually personal practices that has helped me get out of survivor mode and that I'm choosing to share in the sisterhood platform, Feminine Takeoff, for those of you who are on your femininity journey or who are embracing your femininity. So with that being said, ladies, let's begin. So, ladies, point number one in remembering that you are feminine even when you are in survival mode, or to tap into your femininity while you are in survival mode, is to move to survival mode with intention. Even if your situation is tough, ladies, do not move through anything in life aimlessly, especially through survival mode. That is not feminine to do, and nothing that happens aimlessly succeeds. Even if the goal is something as simple as finishing the day with grace, have some sense of purpose when you are going through survival mode. This is one of the most important things that a feminine being can have is purpose, no matter what. No matter what kind of adversity you are going through, you need to have an idea or plan on how you're choosing to go through with this. And point number two in embracing your femininity, especially when you are in survival mode, is keep grooming yourself, ladies. When you beautify yourself, you will never look like what you are going through. Ever. And that is a gift that every feminine woman has. There is no excuse to not groom yourself. Yes, sometimes things happen in life that are difficult, that makes it hard, or maybe finances, you can't have makeup. But ladies, if you go to the dollar store, you will find some makeup. Okay? People, even if you go to Sephora, they will give you free makeup as testers and samples. Okay? If you have $5, you can find a way to beautify yourself. If you don't have products to beautify yourself, simply grooming your hair, combing your hair nicely, putting it in a nice bun, and putting some lip balm or oil on your lips, showering and being clean is enough to start. Okay. It doesn't have to be a big elaborate thing. You don't have to break the bank and spend money on your appearance if you don't have it. But you can be intentional about your appearance no matter how and what you are going through. It is truly a choice, ladies. So being in survivor mode does not mean that you simply stop caring about your appearance. And when you do that, your problems will not go away. It actually might get worse because now human beings are shallow. How you present yourself is how people are going to treat you. And ladies, I've always talked about this. If you can groom yourself, if you can't go to the salon to get your nails done, do it yourself. Actually, these nails that you see, I don't know, it's old. I think I want to say it's like 2 weeks old or almost 3 weeks old, but I've done them myself. This is a gel manicure with gel overlay. I've done these myself. I have videos on my channel where it shows you how to do your own manicure at home. I have links to the products that I have used and the devices that I've used. So ladies, that is on the channel, Feminine Takeoff, both on TikTok and on YouTube. So you can find those type of resources in order to groom yourself. If you can't afford extensions, this is why I always say it's so important. Femininity is what is going on the inside. A lot of times we slap these makeups on, we slap these fake press-on nails on, but not or underneath of the surface. What does your natural nail look like? What does your natural hair look like? Okay. Because when you are going through a tough time where you cannot go to the salon because either you don't have time or you don't have the resources to get your nails done or that you don't have the resources to get your hair done, that is when being intentional about what is happening under the surface kicks in. Okay. So if your hair is naturally healthy and you're wearing extensions, but you've been taking care of your hair, well, when you take your extensions out, you can literally just put your hair in a slick bun. I don't know if there are videos. I don't know. Maybe I'll try to put a photo somewhere, but there are videos. I have videos and shorts showing my slick ponytail. You can find a ponytail piece for an affordable price. You can even order them from Shein. Some people order from Temu. I've never used Temu, but I heard it is good. It's cheap. It's affordable. AliExpress. What is the other one? I think it's called DH Gates or something like that. So ladies, there are ways, go online, look up affordable ponytail pieces. So what you can do is slick your hair back. And I've said the secret before in one of my previous videos. Sometimes constantly adding gel onto your hair can dry it out and break it. So what you can do is if you want that perfect slick ponytail, actually put some Vaseline, add a little bit of water in it, take a board bristle brush and brush the Vaseline with a little bit of water through your hair and style it. Put a scarf around and then put it in a ponytail or a bun. Put a scarf around it, ladies, and either if you want to blow dry it a little bit or just let it as you're doing your makeup, you will have the sleekest ponytail that is nicely held, but that doesn't have gel in it. And that ponytail that you slicked with Vaseline will actually be healthier because it's a type of oil that is nourishing your hair. The water is again hydrating your hair. You can do stuff like that. You can put your hair in a slick bun and then put your natural hair as a bun. If it's not long enough or if you don't like that look, then you can add a ponytail piece and boom, you look perfect. You look amazing. Okay, ladies, it doesn't always have to be the bust down, the done up look if you don't have it. All right, ladies, there are ways for you to look presentable without breaking your bank. And that is what true femininity is, to self-preserve. How can you self-preserve when you're wasting and overspending your money that you might not have on appearances when you can naturally take care of yourself to give yourself some type of decent appearance until you figure out your footings on your stability? And whether your hair is relaxed or natural, you can style it. I have had natural hair. Even have had hair, ladies, that is short. Okay, I've had a cute little afro short buzz cut and it looks nice. I literally had a toothpick comb and I would oil and condition my hair often and then just fluff it out. And that was the look. Oh my God. I was really young. I think I was like 20 or maybe 21, maybe 22 with that hairstyle, but I will try to find it and show you guys a snippet of it. Please don't laugh at me. But I think truly every woman deserves to cut off all her hair once in her lifetime. It's one of the most liberating things that you can do as a woman. But if you don't want to cut your hair, that's fine. But what I'm saying is no matter what hairstyle you have, you can look beautiful and presentable. Okay. If your hair is relaxed, I have relaxed hair currently. If your hair is relaxed, just make sure you nourish it, you take care of it. If your hair is underneath of a wig, underneath of extensions, I am wearing extensions, but my hair is long and healthy underneath of it. Sometimes it breaks up when I'm stressed, but the goal is no matter what I am doing, I can rock my natural hair in some way, shape, or form. And if I cannot, I can add a little bit of something on it too. There's nothing wrong with that. And point number 3, ladies, in how to maintain your femininity, especially in survivor mode, is to keep quiet, sis. Say less and protect your peace. Ladies, sometimes, especially when we are in survival mode, we might trauma dump or overshare because we're going through something difficult and we just want someone to hear us out, someone to help us out. You really have to be mindful of who you are oversharing with, who you are trauma dumping on, what you're sharing, and how is it helping you in the long run. Okay? There's a difference between asking and seeking help than just trauma dumping and talking out of anger, out of frustration with no strategy for your betterment, for prosperity in your future. So ladies, be mindful of that. Say less, keep your peace, and be very intentional about what you are opening your mouth to say and share. When you are in survivor mode, ladies, it's so important that you stay away from people who are mean to you, who disrespect you. Of course, you can't stay away from everyone because some of those people might be your work colleagues and you need that job. Some of those people might be your family members and you're just kind of stuck with them. If you lived with them or family, you're just always kind of stuck with family in some way, shape, or another. All right, ladies? Or if it is an abusive partner or ex-partner that you might have a child with or whatever the situation. But if you can, try to distance yourself away from people who are negative towards you. That it doesn't help your femininity and you'll always feel like on top of life kicking and beating your tush. Humans are also doing that. No. You can control how far you let or allow someone close to you. And focus instead on people who are kind to you and people who uplift your femininity. Point number 4 is evaluate the people who are around you. Especially when you're in survival mode, you should be doing that anyway. But when you are in survival mode, ladies, it is so important. Why? Because you're already going through life's difficulties. So you should be asking yourself, is it worth the additional pain and tears while I'm in this difficult survival situation? Especially if he cannot support me and help me through it. He's just adding on more pain to what I'm already going through. No, most likely not. So ladies, you need to evaluate those situations, those friendships, those people, those situationships and relationships in your life when you are going through survival mode and either cut them off, reduce them, or find a way to avoid them for your sanity, for your future evolvement. And also ask yourself, is that friend who's always has something mean and smart and disrespectful to say, is that friend good to have around me, especially when life is kicking my tush right now? No. Well, let's say you're grieving or you're going through a difficult time. Is that friend who's negative, who gossips, who says slight little remarks or comments to you? Are they worth talking to while you are already going through grief and other survival things? Most likely not. Hopefully not. Your life might be hard, but the people in it shouldn't make it harder, ladies. You have full choice and sovereignty over who you allow in your mind space, in your world, especially when you are going through survival mode. Your femininity needs you to have some self-sovereignty. It's so important for your survival, for your peace, especially in your survival era. All right, ladies. Point number 5 in maintaining your femininity while in survivor mode is maintaining your grace. Okay, give yourself some grace. Don't beat yourself up. The world is already beating you up. Okay, do not kick your own tush. The world is already kicking your tush as it is. Bad moments do not last forever. They don't go on and on and on. That's the good part. Rainy days are not forever. Eventually, the rain, the thunderstorm stops. Okay? So give yourself some grace and remember who you are and fix your crown, queen. Fix your crown, princess. And always remember this mantra. This too shall pass. This difficult thing that you are going through shall pass. This hurdle shall pass. Just keep faith, okay? And keep intention and keep what you know will help you. Or if you cannot see the light at the end of that tunnel, just keep going. If you can't, there's a quote by Dr. Martin Luther King that is one of my favorite quotes. If you cannot, I'm butchering it right now, but it goes something along the lines of, if you cannot run, then walk. If you cannot walk, then crawl. If you cannot crawl, no matter what you do, just keep moving or something like that. I don't know if it was Martin Luther King, but it's a quote. Whoever is by, forgive me. Please comment below if you know the quote that I'm talking about. But yeah, ladies, remember that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. If you can keep that grace for yourself and keep that hope in yourself, just know that that's true. You will go through anything that you're going through and you will thrive through it. Hope and grace is the most important gift you can give yourself. Please give it to yourself. It's the most feminine and important gift that you could give yourself, and start giving it to yourself, and the world will even give it to you in return. All right. Point number 6 in how to maintain your femininity while in survivor mode is move through your difficulties with intention. I know I said this in point number 1, but I'm going to dive just a little bit deeper in point number 6. Okay. And what I mean by that is financial intentions. Okay. Again, ladies, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you advice as such. I'm only telling you what has helped me. And that is, ladies, journal ways that you can make more or extra income while you're going through survival mode. If your survival mode is financially base or source, okay, that means that if you are going through something difficult and money has to do with it, then you need to sit down with yourself and think, how can I make more money? Okay, do I start a YouTube channel? Do I start a cooking? Am I a good cook? Can I start telling my friends and family, hey, I know you work a lot. If you give me this amount of money, I can cook for you and meal prep for you. So that way you don't have to waste time or spend time cooking. Okay. So you're providing a service of some sort. If you are an artist, you can sell your art. I have some artist friends who make amazing, beautiful art, but they hoard it. They're like, no, 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 I don't want anybody to keep it. This is my baby. Well, if you're going through something difficult, it's okay to sell your art. Put your art on TikTok or on YouTube, Instagram, wherever you can put it. And, or even put, what you can do is if you, let's say you draw pretty well, or you create any art of some sort, you're a sculptor, whatever, just while you're sculpting, wear a cute little dress or whatever, something that is, expressive to you that has to do with your image, your brand's image, or who you want to represent yourself as, and start making that pottery, start making that clay, record it, and then edit it and put it on social media and then show the finishing product. So now, not only do you have the art and people are like, oh my God, I want to buy this. People are going to be like, wow, this is a process. It's beautiful. And this is how nice you look while you are going through the process. Oh my God, I see your blood and sweat, or I see your hard work. I want to invest. I want to buy. I want to purchase, and so on and forth. Okay, ladies? So when you journal, take time to journal and ask yourself things that you are able to do. If it is, maybe you're not an artist, you don't have an artistic skill, but you are educated, you have a degree, or you need to finish your degree. Think of ways that you can go back to school to get your degree so that you can find ways to earn more income. Not everyone is a business owner. Not everyone can be an influencer. Some people are very comfortable with going to school, having the degree, and knowing what to do with it. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but you need to be able to sit with yourself and ask yourself, what is going to help me out of this difficulty, especially if it is a financial difficulty that I am going through. And you need to start writing the solutions to whatever you come up with and exercise those solutions. And don't be afraid or ashamed to apply to jobs. Let's say that you have a communication degree or a business degree, but you want to apply for a corporate sales position. They will train you as long as you have the degree. Apply anyway. The worst thing they can say is, no, we're looking for someone, but show your enthusiasm. Say, hey, I might not have the experience, but I have this degree. I completed the degree. I'm eager to learn. And if you bet on me, if you give me a chance, I can learn and accomplish the job, the task that you need or that you need to be accomplished. Okay, ladies, bet on yourself. When you are adamant, you show determination with yourself. People will want to meet you there. Okay, ladies. And if they don't, that just means that they're not the people designed on your path. But show up for yourself, and I promise you, the world will meet you halfway. God will meet you halfway. My brother gave me an example a very long time ago that I would never forget. And he said, if because you're a beautiful girl, you need to be able to do certain basic things in your life. Okay. Even if you don't, you need to learn to pretend that you know how to do basic things. For example, fixing your car or changing your tires. Of course, my brother's not expecting me to fix my car. But what he's saying is, if let's say your car breaks down on the middle of the highway, if you get out of that car and of course, now we have AAA and so on and forth. But let's just say that your phone is dead or whatever, and you need to hitchhike for whatever bad reason, right? Well, if you get out of your car and you start hitchhiking or you stand out of your car, people are going to be suspicious. They're going to say, this pretty girl in the middle of the road, what is she up to? Some people will be wary to stop. The people who do stop, they're going to have poor intentions, right? But if your car is broken down in the middle of the street on the freeway and you open the hood trying to understand what's going on, if someone driving past sees you helping yourself, of course, all humans can have bad motives, right? But people are more likely to help you when it looks like you are helping yourself, as opposed to doing nothing and standing there. People who approach you would have worse intentions, are least likely to have better intentions for you because they don't even see you trying for yourself. Remember in point number 1, I mentioned beautifying yourself as far as moving with intention to get out of your survivor mode. Well, in point number 6, that is the point in beautifying yourself also, so that you can be seen, so that you can be a little bit easier on the eye, no matter what difficult thing you are going through. Okay. If you are expecting someone to help you, to sweat for you, If you're a little bit easy on the eye, if you're a little bit softer, if you're a little bit fragile, they're more likely to help you than when you look like you're tough, you look like you fought wars and you won, you've struggled and maybe you're still struggling. It's just a little bit more easy to help someone who is easier on the eye. So after you beautify yourself, ladies, go work when you're going to journal, when you're going to apply to job, go sit at a cafe in an affluent area. Is because when you are in an affluent area, you start to think differently like affluent people would. Say that you beautify yourself, you look presentable, you have your notebook with you or your iPad or your laptop, and you are just scribbling, trying to figure out ways to better yourself. And someone sees you and say, hey, what are you doing at this cafe? I saw you 2 days in a row now. Do you work from home? And you're like, no, I'm actually between jobs right now. I'm just writing ideas of how I'm going to make income or how I'm going to apply, or I am editing my resume. They're going to be like, oh, well, I know somebody. What's your experience? I know someone who knows this person. Okay. Through word of mouth. When you are seen, people can help you. Okay. Before social media and technology and everything, a lot of jobs were through word of mouth. Someone knew someone who knew someone. And when someone knows you and they introduce you to a third party for any assistance, that third party is less likely to treat you badly. Why? Because you were introduced by someone. Someone brought you to them. Okay. Whereas if you randomly find somebody online or apply to a job, they can deny you and they won't have any consideration for you. But when there is a third party involved or you are the third party, that means that there are other people in the midst that say, oh, I can vouch for this person. Oh, you know what? I have a really good feeling about this person. They showed great work ethic. They were sitting at the cafe, trying to fix their resume, focusing on themselves. And I think that just give them a chance and they can truly show up for your business as I've seen them show up for themselves. Do you see the difference, ladies? So show up for yourself and look a little bit easier on the eye as you are doing so. Hi. My neighbors are watching. And another point in moving through your challenges with intention is that even if you have 2 cents in your bank account, okay, move through it with intentions. There's no shame in it. Things happen, life happens. Go to a financial institute. If you have a bank account, then your bank should offer financial advisors and they're usually free. Okay. So you go, if you have 2 cents in your bank account, chances are you might have bad credit also. Okay. There's no shame. There's no shame. So if that's the case, go to the bank and say, how can I get better? They might say, okay, do you have a job? Okay. If you put this much away, or maybe they could say, you know what? You have a job, you're making money, but your expenses are high. There's this, maybe you're having coffee every day at Starbucks. Is there a way you can get a coffee maker and make your own coffee at home or whatever? You know, whatever the financial advisor is going to tell you. Well, if you manage to save $20 a day, you can put this in your bank and maybe invest it or, do this or that or put it in your savings. It can grow interest or get a secure credit card in order to grow your credit with, whatever $200 that you save or whatever the case is. Again, I am not a financial advisor and I'm not giving advice as such, but there are ways to get out of your situation and your funk by seeking resources that you already have in front of you that you might not notice that you have. So a financial advisor can help you with strategies in fixing your credit, in saving more money, in managing your spendings, and so on and forth. When you are in survivor mode and you have financial insecurity, that can drive you to lose your mind, ladies. Okay? No matter what I'm going through, as long as I have my savings, I think, you know what? It's okay. I will go through this. Okay. The other day, my car it needed coolant in it. I put the coolant in it and next thing you know, it started leaking the coolant. And I was so annoyed because I've been spending money, for my mom and she's sick and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to spend another money. But I didn't panic. You know why? Because I've intentionally saved knowing that my car might break down. Okay. So when you live your life with intention, you don't hope that the things happen. But when the things happen, you say, okay, this happened. It's unfortunate. This sucks, but at least I have the money for it. So the type of anxiety, so you won't have certain anxieties that are unnecessary. You'll just be frustrated, but being frustrated is different from having anxiety because you're just down and out. And another point in moving through your survivor mode with intention is be mindful of your health, and there are also health survival modes, okay? Either your own health might be in jeopardy or, an ambiguity, or you're having a scares of some sort, or maybe someone you love, someone who is close to you is going through health problems, okay? And that is a part of a survival mode. I don't know, I've shared with you guys briefly. I don't like to talk about it, but my mom has cancer. She's been diagnosed for a few months now. And it's a really sad and scary thing. And she was actually in hospice. By God's miracle, my mother has been placed out of hospice, which is really, really rare. When someone enters hospice, you start planning for a funeral. But luckily, she's not in hospice anymore. But no matter the situation, ladies, when you're going through a health scares, whether it's you or a loved one, just understand that there's no right or wrong way to deal with it. Some things are just very difficult, and many things have gray areas. So there's no right or wrong way to do something or to cope with something. Just follow a medical provider's guidance, especially or find one that you trust so that you can follow their guidance and try your best to be healthy. If it is about your own health, you can do things at home like sleeping, okay? When you sleep, you help your body recover from things, ailments, and many things. Sleep and rest, okay? Eat healthy, eat nourishing food. Your body is like an engine or something with an engine. You need to be able to nourish it. It's like a car. You have to take it to an oil change. You have to find ways to maintain it and so on and forth. To maintain your body, give it rest, nourish your body, move your body shortly, walk, go on walks so that you can clear your mind, so that even ideas can come to you. Okay, exercise. If you like yoga, do yoga. If you don't like yoga, stretch. If you don't like to stretch, move your body in some way so you can have mobility, ladies. But find a way to be the healthiest version of yourself. Okay, if you're going through, and don't wait to go through a health scares to start worrying about your body. Worry about your body now. And if you are going through a loved one who's going through health scares and they don't want to be compliant, just find a way to love them through it. Okay, maybe they're scared too. Okay, maybe they're scared too. That's why they're being defensive. Pray for them. And if you want, you can also even do resource on how to like deal with someone who's going through a difficult health thing. If you want to help them or assist them, or if you simply want to understand what they're going through so that you can be a better person in their life to support them and aid them while they're going through something like that. So ladies, there's no right or wrong answer. Give yourself grace, but just be intentional about whatever it is that you are doing. And point number 7 in how to keep your femininity while going through survival mode is also be mindful of your mental headspace and exercise your mind and your body. So while you are going through a difficult situation, let's say you're in between jobs, you've applied to the job, you've gone through the cafes, you've been seen, you went out there, or maybe you know what, you can't be seen right now because you might not have money to go to the affluent neighborhoods or whatever. Let's say that whatever you're going through is requiring you to be holed up at home. That's never always good, but try to get some sun every day or every other day if you can. But also, while you are holed up and you're stuck, exercise your mind, read books. One book that I read that always takes me out of my funk and that helps me exercise my mind is Atomic Habits. That book is one of the books that saved my life. Okay. So read books that exercise your mind, that cause you to think, that cause you to move to an action for your future, for yourself. Atomic Habit is one of them. One book that also helped me with financial literacy. It was actually like a playful book. It's not a serious book. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon. But it taught me to start paying myself. No matter what, ladies, if I get money, whether it is a gift, whether it is a payment, no matter what, any money that comes to me, I save 20% of it. I pay myself first. And that book has taught me to do that. Okay. Even if I'm going to use my savings later, I tell my mind, at least I paid myself first. And when I did that, when I learned that from the book and I did that, it also taught me that if I'm paying myself first, that means I am respecting and honoring myself, especially financially. So find books, find self-help books, free books if you can, if you don't have money to buy some. There are so many books on Audible that are free, on YouTube that are free, or other places that are free. Go to a library if you can. Read books that help you, that exercise your mind, okay? So walk, clear your mind, exercise, move your body so that you can welcome and have space for new possibilities. If your mind is not clear, you cannot think of new possibilities. You cannot think of anything at all, ladies. Point number 8 in how to maintain your femininity while you are going through survivor mode is your environment matters. All right, ladies, proximity is so important. All right. So if you are going through a difficult health situation, or you know someone who is, and that's why you're in survivor mode, then I need you to start talking and surrounding yourself with healthy people. People who have gone through what you are going through and they've healed from it. All right. And if that, let's say you're going through something so rare that no one has healed from it, start researching, watch YouTube videos on how to move through life with the situation that you have at hand. All right. But proximity is so important. If you're not feeling well and you're sick, surround yourself with people who are healthy. Of course, if you have something contagious, don't be around them and get them sick, right? But if you don't have something contagious, spend time with people who have gone through the sickness that you've gone through and they've overcome it, and talk to them. Ask them, what did they eat? What did they experience? What did they do to get through it? How did they change their mind? What doctor did they see that they can recommend you to? And so on and forth. If it is a financial issue that I've told you before, get yourself well groomed and go to affluent areas. When you're around those areas, you start to see how the people talk, how they interact with each other, how life is when you are financially comfortable, and how people who are financially comfortable behave, move, and see through, and what type of lenses they see through. So that way you can learn something or two from them, and that way you can start moving yourself through the hurdles of financial difficulty. If it is relational survival mode or anything of the sort, then hang around people who have gone through something difficult. Hang around someone who has gone through the divorce, who has gone through the, DV, who is a survivor of violence, and so on and forth. Find a way to talk and be in proximity to people who have gone through what you are going through and they've overcome it. So that way you can download ideas from them, even energetically, that can help you grow and glow through whatever survival mode that you currently are in. Let the healthy energy expand your mindset. Okay. Let the financially healthy experience expand your mindset. Let the emotional energy that people who are emotionally secure and safe feel expand your mindset. All right. So whatever you're lacking, find people who are not in lack of that and go be around them. Or if you can't be in proximity to them, watch them. Watch them either on YouTube, watch them either somewhere. So like, or even in movies, look up movies of whatever situation you might be going through and people who have gone through it and overcome it, and watch it. Proximity is so important. It will give you better ideas and better ways to cope and go through what you are going through, but still maintain your femininity, your grace, your poise, and so that you can thrive and overcome the things that you are going through. And number 9, in how to maintain feminine while going through difficulty or survival mode is, ladies, pray. Praying connects you with a higher purpose beyond your current situation. Ladies, you need to be able to pray, talk to God. God is your father. Talk to him, okay? When you pray, you also have hope. When you are going through something difficult, survival mode, an adversary situation, and you don't have hope, you are more likely to succumb to it. But when you have hope, when you have prayer, you know that you will go through it. You know that this too shall pass. That is the power of prayer. Pray. Prayer is good for you. If you believe in God, talk to God about the situation and ask him to help you see your way out of it. And prayers always gives clarity, ideas, and strength and hope, ladies. So use your prayer. It is your super weapon that has been given to you by God. If you believe in God, don't be afraid to use it. And point number 10 in how to maintain your femininity while going through survivor mode is, ladies, take your time. Do not let anything or anyone rush you. Do not let anything or anyone rush you or rush the process. The journey is yours. The survival journey that you're going through is your survival journey. Walk through it at your pace. So when you walk through it at your pace also, you will make sure that you never go through it again. And if you go through it and you find yourself going through it again, you will understand what it's like to go through it, and you will use the wisdom that you've gotten from going through it in the past to go through it and grow through it. All right, ladies. But when you are rushed, when you let someone rush you through certain situations or push you through certain situations, you will not understand or get the wisdom to overcome that same situation if you are presented with it again in the future. So ladies, a feminine lady does not rush. Don't rush yourself. Don't rush through your healing. Don't rush through your pain. Just sit with yourself and grow through what you are going through. And remember that every situation, every survivor mode passes. And remember, this too shall pass. Ladies, please take gentle care of yourself. Thank you so much for watching me here with the Feminine Takeoff. I hope that these points are helpful for you, especially in helping you understand that just because you're going through survivor mode or just because you're going through something difficult does not mean that you lose your femininity. It actually gives you an advantage. When you're feminine, you're more fragile and vulnerable, and that is a superpower. Use it, wield it. You use it to soar, to thrive, to grow through whatever it is that you are going through. Thank you so much again for watching me here with the Feminine Takeoff. As always, we take off to better ourselves. Thanks for watching. Mwah.